Where is his thing? What is this? Stardust says you're wild pussy and you won't fight her. Nice. Okay. Tell him I'm in VC.
What the fuck do you want?
Hello?
Yeah, what do you want?
Are you the father? Hello?
Go ahead, say your joke.
Are you?
Go ahead and tell your joke.
I don't have a joke. Did you see
If
her
you
tweet?
low today, what do you want?
What's up? Did you see my tweet?
No.
Oh, it's been 2 weeks. Here, let me link it to you.
I want to ask a question, okay? If in 2 weeks, Moscow doesn't have people on the ground in Kiev, hasn't taken the city, what are you going to say? What's the reason for that?
I would say things did not go as planned then.
In what sense?
That they failed to execute their goals probably.
Okay. What's your point?
I'm just saying it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I didn't... What do you want me to say? Clearly the operation's much longer than expected, than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
I have admitted that.
Okay, all right. Well, just wanted to check. How come you won't fist fight me, Haas? I've been challenging you since day one, okay? And I know you're jealous of my girthiness, okay? But there's nothing to be jealous of. If you eat enough, you can reach my level of girth. Hello?
Did you want to debate about something?
Not really.
Wait, aren't Russian troops in Kiev?
No. They're outside.
Oh, so when they were reporting that like these Russian spec ops guys or whatever were in Kiev, that was just a lie?
I'd have to look into that, but I don't believe that's true. So.
It's interesting the Ukrainians lied.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the Russian troops being
I'll concede they didn't.
So
they didn't take the interior of Kiev yet, but they have it fully surrounded and can pretty much take it whenever they want.
So they could just take it then.
Well, that would probably endanger a lot of civilians.
They didn't give a fuck about that with Kherson, did they?
Example?
They're destroying infrastructure, which is they're pretty much starving. Like they're starving Ukrainian cities by destroying infrastructure.
Which infrastructure?
Like
if you're going to talk about the hospital and the school,
hospitals, basically running
what about
water,
the theater?
electricity,
and also the theater in Mariupol, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about just like
hold on. Was that did Russia blow up the theater in Mariupol? By the way,
look, I'm talking about electricity and water, right?
Yeah.
There are people who don't have access to running water, people who don't have access to electricity. I believe in Mariupol, people are like burning pieces of furniture just to keep warm. So it's a little bit fucked. Yeah, people are.
Is cutting off water the same as killings and having no regard for civilians?
It's a slow killing. So
okay, then I have to ask you a question. Mm-hmm. When Crimea cut off water and electricity, when Ukraine cut off water and electricity from Crimea for 8 years, was that a slow killing?
Was it for 8 years?
Yes.
Do they have access to electricity and water from other places?
They only did because of Russia.
right? And Russia already had annexed it, right?
Yeah, but they still really couldn't get water because they dammed up
Could they or could they not get
one of the
water?
rivers. No. I mean, their access to water was severely limited.
Okay. Well, why should Ukraine provide water and electricity to a town, or not town, but to a region where Russia has annexed?
I don't know, but why should Russia not cut off water and electricity, which is vital for the
Because it's Ukraine.
Azov militias that they're currently fighting?
It's Ukraine's. And it's not
What's
just
Ukraine's?
the Azov militia that they're fighting. They're fighting civilians.
Okay, which civilians are they fighting?
They're bombing. They're bombing buildings, right? They're doing airstrikes.
Which buildings? Let's be precise about this.
I mean, there are residential buildings that have been bombed. There are hospitals that have been bombed. It's in
Which hospital?
I can't name every single one, but there.
Can you name one?
Well, there's obviously the maternity one, the maternity hospital, right? That
Which
was
one?
used recently. The one in Mariupol.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did Russia do that?
Yeah. Why do you think they didn't?
I'm just curious as to like what evidence you have that it was Russia.
Do you have evidence otherwise?
Well, that's not really how it works. When you accuse someone of a crime, you have to actually establish they're the ones who did it.
So there's been reporting that that's what it is, right?
Do you really not know?
I mean, explain to me if it's if it's different, then explain it to me.
Okay, the maternity hospital in Mariupol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you know about the nature of the collision? Or sorry, do you know the nature of explosives that come from air to surface? And the nature of how that actually destroys buildings and what that looks like?
I don't, but this is starting to sound like 9/11 truther stuff.
Okay.
So,
I guess that's what it is then.
I mean, look, I don't know a whole lot about weapons.
Hold on. So basically, are you just saying that like whatever you saw on Twitter,
not on Twitter,
is true,
not on
and that
Twitter,
when you use
news.
basic, all right. Let's say Russia didn't do it in Mariupol. How would Russia be able to defend itself against the claim? Without being able to like analyze the nature of like
Russia didn't
air
do
to
it, then
surface
who did?
missiles. Russia accuses I can't say this, but Russia accuses it of being staged.
Staged.
Yeah.
Okay. A maternity hospital bombing staged.
Can I ask you a question? Why would Russia bomb a maternity hospital? What interest does Russia have to bomb a maternity hospital?
They have used the tactic where they will destroy infrastructure in the past in other conflicts.
Okay.
War by attrition, right? So
yeah, you're trying to say like, oh, this is what they did in Grozny. Okay, then why isn't Russia? You would think that they're doing this at like a much higher scale. That you don't just have this one examples. You have like dozens of examples where they're doing this like en masse. Okay, can you name other examples?
I mean, it's not hit Kyiv yet.
Why isn't Russia bombing more hospitals than that one?
They have taken out, like I said, they've taken out electricity and they've taken out water. That's already enough to put people in a very desperate situation.
Okay, but we're talking about their bombing of civilian infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't they doing that at the same, like a much higher level of scale than these like sensationalized single events, which Russia denies?
Well, I know that they're having basically they're having trouble with they're like running out of supplies essentially. So I know that they're trying to be strategic in where they attack.
So are you saying Russia is running out of bombs and that's why they can't bomb
I don't know
more
if it's
hospitals?
bombs, but they're
Then what would it be? Because in order to bomb hospitals, you're either going to use ground to ground missiles, or sorry, surface to surface missiles, or you're going to use aircraft, right? And I'm not sure exactly what they've run out of to be able to do that.
Let me take a quick look. I was just reading something.
Sure, have your chat help you. That's usually what all the other B tier orders
no,
do.
we read articles. Let me see here. Putin underestimated the national pride and battlefield skills that Ukrainians have built up over the past 8 years.
Damn.
Let me see.
Ukraine keeps like securing all these victories closer and closer to Kyiv. It's crazy.
I don't know about that. I mean, Kherson and Mariupol are not doing great right now. So.
But I thought the valor of the Ukrainians was holding the Russians back.
It's not, like you said, right? It's not going as quickly as Putin anticipated, right?
No, it's not going as quickly as I thought it would go.
Okay. There have been tons of experts who weighed in who said that Putin was expecting this to be done in a certain amount of time, and it wasn't. First estimate was like 48 hours. The next one was like a week, 2 weeks, so.
Well, the 48-hour one came from the idea that Putin was just going to steamroll Ukraine, regardless of minimizing casualties to civilians and harm to civilian infrastructure, which had nothing to do with the nature of the special operation itself.
Okay. Special operation. Okay.
Keep in mind, what the Americans were saying was that Russia was going to launch a full-scale invasion of Ukraine and a full deployment, which basically implies they're just going to roll through it like Blitzkrieg style, right? And that's not what we've seen. We've seen a very surgical and incisive procedure of choking off Ukrainian cities, the resistance that's situated within them, and taking over with as little violence as possible. It's very methodical.
So this claim that it was staged is not correct. There's tons of footage of the maternity hospital. Also, there is.
Wait, hold on.
Who World Health Organization confirmed? Just a second. World Health Organization confirms 18 attacks on Ukrainian hospitals and ambulances, creating the worst possible ingredients for spread of disease.
Yeah, I trust the WHO, but what I'm trying to say is that no one is denying the hospital was destroyed in Mariupol.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about how it was destroyed.
Okay, 18 attacks on Ukrainian hospitals and ambulances. You asked me if why wouldn't they be attacking more? They are attacking more.
Okay, can you name the other 18, or can we explore those?
I can't name them off the top of my head, but the World Health Organization has confirmed it. So 18 attacks.
So it's just a matter if we trust the WHO?
You just said that you trust the WHO.
I'm obliged to trust them because they have a blue check mark.
Okay. So do you or do you not trust them? Because you just said 5 minutes ago you trust them, and now you're saying you're only obliged
Obviously,
to
I trust
because
them.
they have a check mark.
Obviously, I trust them.
Okay.
Are you kidding? I don't want to get banned.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was a thing. Okay.
So, what exactly did you want to debate about?
I wanted to ask you why you won't fight me.
That's it?
Pretty much. I mean, also I wanted to ask you about the clip, but
anything else?
You didn't really say anything. No, 18 confirmed attacks by the WHO. Infrastructure being damaged all around Ukraine, and
is there evidence of is there evidence that Russia is deliberately targeting civilian infrastructure? If so, please provide concrete examples.
I mean, there's footage of civilian infrastructure having been attacked.
I remember in the very early stage of this, there was footage of a residential building that got shot. And it turned out that it was actually a Ukrainian surface-to-air missile defense system that misfired. And like it was proven through the projectile and everything. And Russia still got the blame. I remember another example when there was a supposed bombing of Kharkiv, I forget which city it was, when actually it was a downed Ukrainian plane that just fell and crashed into the middle of the city.
Do you have evidence for these things? Can you provide them to me?
Sure. Where do you want me to provide them?
You can DM them to me.
Okay, guys. If you guys remember which ones, put them in fact checking so I could just link them to her. I'm kind of eating right now.
Okay, so you can't.
Put the one from the very early days of the conflict where that first building that got hit, that was a misfire from Ukraine's missile defense system. The other one was the Ukrainian plane that got down in the middle of a Ukrainian city.
What was the name of the building?
Posted in fact checking.
Do you have the name of the building?
No, it was just a random residential building.
Or the name of the guy who accidentally fired a missile?
Why would I have the name of a random Ukrainian soldier?
Well, because, I don't know, you asked me for all these specifics, so I figured I'd ask you.
Well, I asked you for specific events, not names of people.
Where are the sources from? I'm not seeing anything in fact checking, by the way. Nothing's happening, so.
I guess I'll have to dig through my tweets.
Oh, it's a Twitter. It's a tweet. Didn't you just come at me for saying, oh, do you just read through Twitter? When I don't read through Twitter, but okay, if you want to source tweets, that's fine.
No, the tweet has the footage. What are you talking about?
It's tweets from
the tweet just has the footage.
Account. There's no footage in this tweet.
I didn't provide any tweet yet.
Okay, well, you told your chat to put stuff in fact checking rather than sending me stuff, right? So I just clicked on it. I don't see anything. So.
Okay, well, clearly they either don't remember or don't have it on hand. So that's why
So you can't prove what you were claiming.
No, I can't. Okay, Stardust. I am literally in my likes right now, and I'm just scrolling down. I'm on March 9th now, so I'm going to keep scrolling down until I find it. Okay?
All right. I appreciate that.
That's literally what I'm doing right now.
So.
All right. No, just wait.
Okay. You want to come on a Chaos Cast sometime?
Okay, here it is. This is it. This is the first one. This is what date was this? Yeah, this was 26th of February. Okay. So this is one of the pieces of evidence right here. Someone finally provided it. So this was this one, right?
Kyiv residential.
So they reported that a Kyiv residential tower was hit by a missile as firing rages. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and this was actually a Ukrainian missile defense system, which was blamed on Russia.
Let's see.
Okay, and there was, I don't know if it was ASB. ASB currently got banned. So I'm going to try to find the footage of the projectile, like where it was hit from and the projectile, which proves that it was from a Ukrainian missile defense system and not from Russia.
Okay.
ASB's on Gab, yeah. If you guys can find it first, just post it. Yeah, the BUKM1. Exactly. That's okay. Yeah, here it is. ASB report on it, but they got taken down. That's why no one could find it. Could you
down?
Dirk, could you, because there's a massive campaign of censorship against pro-Russian sources. Can you archive that ASB thing on Wayback Machine? Is it on Wayback? Because they actually proved it.
I'm looking at this Al Jazeera article that somebody linked.
Yeah, the Al Jazeera article blamed it on Russia because that's when it first hit, everyone blamed it on Russia. Then it was later shown to be from a BUK missile defense system.
Okay. Look, I'm sure...
Telegram. All right. Guys, link it, then go on the Telegram and get it from their Telegram.
I'm sure
actually, let me look up
that there are. I'm sure that there are cases, especially in wars and conflicts like this, where there's friendly fire, and I'm sure it's unintentional. But I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's unintentional. I still don't think.
Okay, but the thing is that it was blamed on Russia.
I still don't think, even if it has been done by Ukrainian forces, I still don't think that can erase the massive amount of damage that you see all over Ukraine.
Okay, hold on, but we're talking about looking for evidence of intentional attacks against civilian infrastructure. That's what this is about.
It was a Ukrainian missile defense firing at a Russian missile.
Yeah, a BUKM1.
So it was in defense against a Russian missile, and it hit a residential building,
which was blamed on Russia.
Yes, because a missile from Russia was in defense against that missile.
No,
from Russia.
The missile from Russia was striking military targets, not civilian ones.
Well, then why would a residential building?
Because I'll explain it to you. There was literally footage. So there's an arc. Every surface-to-surface missile has an arc, or surface-to-air missile. It's a projectile, right?
Okay.
You shoot it up into the air, and then there's an arc through the sky. Okay? So this one was meant to hit an airplane or something, right? And instead, it hit a tall building because it missed.
Mm-hmm.
There's a YouTube video in fact-checking.
It hit a tall building.
Yeah, there it is. Ukrainian BUK missile defense system, and the missile hit the residential building. Okay, so you can see here.
Missed the missile Russia fired.
Yeah, this came down as an arc. So it arced over, right? It was a surface-to-air missile that arced and then basically took this trajectory.
Do you think that jet fuel can melt steel beams? Oz?
So, what is your argument, though?
So my argument is that even if it was friendly fire,
hold on, can I ask you a question?
Why does ask me a question?
No.
Just ask me a question. Can
because
I
you're not
answer
answering
the first
it.
one
You're
first?
not answering.
I'm about to answer you, and you won't let me answer. Okay. So you asked me what am I'm here for, or what I'm trying to say is even if I grant you
that's why I interrupted you, because you're not actually talking about why you're saying.
Even if
wait, why are you saying why do you saying jet fuel melts steel beams?
Oh my God, Hans, you gotta let me answer the question first. You
already said that even if it was true that this was a Ukrainian missile, you already made that argument. I don't want to hear it again. I want to hear why specifically you're talking about 9/11 truthism, because it sounds like from your side of the aisle, every time you're confronted with an actual argument, you basically, your rebuttal is always like, well, this sounds like something I deem ridiculous. Well, it doesn't, even if it's correct that this sounds like 9/11 truthism, that doesn't actually talk about its actual merits. Like, you're not actually arguing with what I'm saying.
Yes,
and then when I confront you with that,
here's the thing. You're not engaging with what I said. You're not
Hold on,
engaging
but
with the
then
fact that
Stardust.
I'm saying that
Calm
even
down.
if
Listen,
even
Stardust, calm
no,
down.
you calm
When
down. You
I
calm down.
confront
Okay.
you with
So
that,
even
right?
if
You go ahead and
even if there was
that's my argument. You say even if. So when I confront you on that, you wrote back and you go, well, even if it's true. Wait, hold on. Let's not do the even if it's true. Let's go back to that does jet fuel melt steel beams thing, because you're
that was a
trying to
joke.
compare this to 9/11 truthism. What is the significance of that argument?
Are you really hung up on a joke?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. That's kind of sad. It's just a joke,
it seems like
Haas.
these little jokes tend to be all your side has when it comes to. You can't actually seriously debate this topic.
No, I can, and again, it still doesn't explain the massive amount of damage in Ukraine, right? That can't all be Ukraine. It's
No
not.
one's saying it is, but I'm trying to say a lot of the times things that are used as evidence of Russia deliberately targeting civilian infrastructure tend not to be. Sometimes it may be collateral damage, but we don't really have any evidence that Russia is deliberately targeting civilian infrastructure that I've seen, at least. Now, if you can give me examples of this, I'm more than willing to see those.
Here's who. Okay.
I know the WHO is saying that 18 hospitals have been hit.
Well, no, not 18. Just 18 attacks have been on Ukrainian hospitals and ambulances.
By Russia is what the WHO is saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Here's also a fact check on the Russian attack on Mariupol Maternity Hospital was staged.
Okay. Where's that?
I'm putting it in your DMs.
Okay. Baseless attacks. Okay, let's read it. Russian officials and conspiracy theorists are promoting the baseless claim about a March 9th bombing. The airstrike killed 3 civilians, including a child, and left 17 wounded. But online, some assert the hospital bombing never took place. Okay, well, this is immediately a straw man, because even the Russian Ministry of Defense and the Russian side...
Well, they get to the other argument later on in the article.
Okay, they get to the other argument about that they claim it was a demolition.
They claim that the building was occupied by Azov Battalion. There's also... let's see.
Okay, let's see. Hold on. First of all, just to be clear, Russia did claim that it was being occupied, and there is widespread evidence of militias occupying theaters and schools and hospitals using civilians as human shields. There is widespread evidence of that. But Russia still doesn't consider that as an excuse to endanger civilians. So Russia's not saying this is an excuse for us bombing the hospital, but they are denying that they bombed the hospital. They're not denying that the hospital was bombed. So the reason, okay, I have to.
There's also this I just linked is a captured Russian pilot says he was ordered to hit civilian targets.
Nowhere in this article is Russia's allegation that the nature of an air-to-surface missile explosion could not possibly was not shown in that hospital. Like, that's not been debunked in this article.
You were using that for a different
There's
thing,
no
not
evidence
for
the
this.
hospital was a non-operational facility used by Azov fighters for military sources, as social media posts and Russian officials claim. The Russian embassy in Israel tweeted an image of a military tank in front of a building to claim the hospital was occupied by the Azov Battalion. However, researchers at Bellingcat, a famously reliable and impartial source, found the photo was captured more than 6 miles away from the hospital. Yeah, but the embassy didn't say that this was that hospital. They said this is an example of the widespread occupation of civilian infrastructure by military agents, okay? So the UN said in a March 11th statement, the hospital was both clearly identifiable and operational when it was hit. On March 2nd, the hospital shared a Facebook post asking for fuel tanks to keep the facility running. Okay, so if this was like a research project for school, this would get an F-. Okay? This doesn't debunk anything as far as what the Russians claim are concerned. I mean, keeping the hospital running, a Facebook post asking for more fuel, I mean, that's what you're talking about here?
Let me get back to that article.
Captured Russian pilot says he was ordered to hit civilian targets. What does this prove exactly?
What kind of evidence could I provide to you, Haas, that would change your mind?
Examples of Russia targeting civilian infrastructure deliberately and on a mass scale. But even just deliberately.
Okay, so is a Russian pilot saying that he was ordered to hit civilian targets not evidence of that?
No, because he's a prisoner of war, Stardust.
Okay. Look, I have
Like,
chaos
no,
cast
that's
in a few
not
minutes,
reliable evidence by any standard or metric or, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Okay, so look, I have chaos cast. Actually, it starts at 9. So I do have to get going, but I would love to continue this conversation with you. If you'd like to.
Oh yeah, I accept your surrender. Don't worry.
It's not surrender.
Yeah, I accept your wholesale and complete surrender of being unable to defend any of your positions on Russia's intervention into Ukraine.
What positions am I? What did I say? What were
That
my positions?
Russia is engaging in the widespread targeting of civilians and civilian infrastructure.
They have a history of doing it, right? The WHO has said that there have been 18 attacks on ambulances and on hospitals. We've got a Russian pilot who says he was ordered to hit civilian targets. We've got tons of different news organizations.
Yeah, that wouldn't stand in the
We've got tons of different news organizations who are also saying that they've been fired at, that they've seen Russian forces firing at civilians, Russian forces firing at reporters. So yeah, I think that there is plenty there. I would love to continue this conversation with you. But
no, you have a bunch of hearsay. You have a prisoner of war. Finally, you have the WHO's claim, and WHO said it'll only get worse. We have 18 confirmed attacks. The WHO actually has not attributed responsibility solely to Russia for these attacks, as far as this CBS article is concerned. So you were wrong about that. You have to understand that there's also hospitals in the Donbass and in Donetsk and Lugansk, which is being shelled, and there is evidence of the shelling of civilians and civilian infrastructure by the Ukrainian military there. How many of the hospitals being attacked are in the Donbass and are being shelled by by Ukrainians?
I think Ukrainians are in a defensive.
That is not what I'm asking you
now, right?
No, they've been attacking the Donbass for over 8 years. They just shot a missile into a civilian center in the Donbass, killing 20 people, which the UN didn't even bother to hear or entertain.
I mean, if that's the case, then they shouldn't be blowing up hospitals for sure. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Russia is engaging in a war of attrition, right? So here's a link.
Russia's engaging in a war of attrition. So
we've done it before.
Ukraine.bellingcat.com. Oh boy. It's a super reliable.
What is reliable to you? What is reliable to you?
I evaluate the primary sources first. It's just so if I shared with you, okay, what if I shared with you RT? Would you make a comment about it before evaluating the primary sources?
I probably would make a comment about it, yeah, if I'm going to be honest with you.
But so is Bellingcat associated with the CIA?
Are they? Are they associated with the CIA? I'm not aware of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, according to this, Bellingcat is funded by U.S. and U.K. intelligence contractors that aided extremists in Syria.
Okay.
The National Endowment for Democracy funds Bellingcat. CIA officials have declared their love, quote unquote, for Bellingcat. This is from foreignpolicy.com.
I mean, look, if you're looking for primary sources,
look no further than its officially published financial accounts.
There's plenty of footage, again, from
reporters. Listen, this sounds like a funny conspiracy theory, but this is the record of the annual accounts from Bellingcat,
Right.
and who funds Bellingcat. And I just think we should take a look at this, right? Because you just decided to mock the allegation that they're affiliated with the CIA and funded by U.S. intelligence.
Did I mock, or did I just ask a question?
Well, you asked the question in a mocking tone, right? You asked it in a mocking way.
I laughed while I asked it, but that doesn't mean I'm mocking you. I think you're attributing like intention to me that I don't have. I think that if you're looking for primary footage, there's tons of it. There's tons of reporters who are on the ground who have been shot at, who have footage of being shot at by Russian forces.
Are there reporters who have also been shot at by Ukrainian forces?
Not that I've seen.
Why haven't you seen that?
I don't know. But you asked
Why don't you think you've ever heard or seen that?
You asked about primary sources. You're just changing what you want now, right?
Okay, so I don't know what case of reporters being shot you're talking about, but those were actually Ukrainians, if you're not up to date on it.
Okay.
They were murdered by Ukrainians.
Okay. All right, Haas. Look, I would love to continue this conversation, but I actually have my panel that starts at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, again, surrender accepted.
No surrender, no surrender.
Yeah, well, I'm calling it a surrender because it is.
You can call it a surrender if that makes you feel better. But I will still point out to all of chat and everybody who's listening that I have been challenging Haas to a fist fight since like 3 months ago, okay? And this guy won't fucking fight me. And all he does is compare my physique to a bowling ball instead of actually fight me. Look, Putin Popsicle, I'm not playing around, okay? You don't need to be afraid. If you eat enough, you too can have the physique of a bowling ball, okay?
You should be, are you a comedian as well as a Twitch streamer?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. What tell the joke.
I'm just saying, I actually appreciate how much you break the stereotype that women can't be funny.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
I'm not. You're breaking glass ceilings and breaking stereotypes.
Okay. Appreciated. All right. I'll see you later, Haas. Let's continue this talk, please. Okay?
Yeah.
Will you? Promise me?
Yeah, if you want to surrender again, that's fine.
You can call it whatever you want, Haas. This is not that, but I have a meme panel to meme on, so I will see you soon.
Okay, surrender accepted.
Your surrender has been accepted as well. Thank you. Bye.
No.
Okay.